Okay. Okay, Kelly, take it away.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started then. So welcome everyone to the July 13th chamber meeting for Fortuna Zoom. Denise, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Oh, you're muted, Kelly. Nope, you're still muted, Kelly. You're on mute.
Okay, I was pushing the wrong button, sorry. Any new members or guests that would like to introduce themselves at this time? All right. It's yours, Renee.
Okay, great. Yeah, I have a very, very small announcements list here, unfortunately. We do have 2 meetings scheduled. So next week, our presenter will be from the American Cancer Society. Her name is Brianne Merja, I believe is how you say her last name. And then the following week on the 27th will be Nezzy Wade from the Affordable Homeless Housing Alternatives. They have a really interesting shower caravan that they have in, I think just in Eureka and Arcade at this point, but they are interested in expanding that. And so maybe moving down into Fortuna if businesses will give them, space in their parking lots or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see what they're trying to get done. We have obviously no mixer in July and there's no rodeo. Next month, August, we had Hops in Humboldt slated. They do our August mixers every year to tie in with the Hops event. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off the Hops event. I think ABC probably won't give them a license due to the current shelter in place. So they may be interested in doing a virtual chamber mixer. So stay tuned. We'll iron out the details. It may or may not happen. It was really just kind of a spontaneous idea at our last board meeting. So we'll see what happens. But keep your fingers crossed. Maybe we can get something fun happening and do it that way. And until things change. But that's all I had. So I guess we can open it to the members.
You could have served chili. Today is chili cook-off day. I'm just so sad.
Oops, I have to mute because someone's coming in my office. Go ahead, Kelly.
Nope, I was just gonna ask if there was anything else, but all right. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our guest speaker today, Amy Scolari, who is the Development Director for Wild Souls Ranch. Thank you for joining us today, Amy.
I think Gary might have an announcement. Sorry, I see he just.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm going to help the person who's in my office. Hold on.
Just saying hello.
Hi, Gary.
He says hello and then he goes away.
I guess so.
I guess we're so friendly here, Okay, go.
If there's nothing else, I'd like to turn it over to our guest speaker, Amy. Thank you for joining us today, Amy.
Thank you for having me. I do have a presentation, so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I can do it. Is it working?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and you can hear me too, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so um, I am Amy Scolari. I'm the development director from Wild Souls Ranch, and I think some of you are familiar with what we do, but I'll just give a brief history. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can just put them in the chat feature, or you could save them till the end. But Wild Souls Ranch is a nonprofit, and we are located in Fortuna. You might have heard that we were located in Lolita at the Hillcrest Stables previously, but we have since moved to Fortuna, and we're on about a 17-acre ranch, and we moved there a little over 2 years ago. And our mission is to provide therapeutic equine youth and family services for any youth that have experienced trauma. So we work with lots of foster youth, adopted youth, but really we're open to working with any child who needs a place and resources to heal from some sort of trauma that they've experienced. And we work with ages 5 through 18. Where Wild Souls Ranch is a place to learn the value of hard work, develop a strong sense of self, practice communication skills, and understand the importance of family values and relationships. So briefly, our founder and executive director, Savannah McCarty, founded Wild Souls Ranch in 2013 after being a ward of the state and going in and out of foster homes herself. She was connected to a woman who provided her with healing through horses, and really she turned to horses when she was going through what she faced as a child, and then decided that she wanted to be able to give back what she received to the children of Humboldt County who have similar experiences. So equine assisted growth and learning, that's what we do. It's a nationally and internationally recognized tool for emotional growth and learning. It's very powerful, and it's not limited to just riding, which seems to be some misconceptions, but we also utilize the tasks of caring for the horses and the ranch and creating a bond between the child and the horse, and those things all contribute to providing this healing for all of the youth that we work with. The anxiety between the child and the horse, or humans and horses, the anxiety or fear-based presence of another hypervigilant being creates a simultaneous connection to what feels familiar, along with the shared feelings of compassion. And so that really provides healing for humans with debilitating wounds. And why are horses so powerful? Obviously, horses are large and they're powerful. So in that sense, respect happens naturally, and boundaries have to be clearly understood for everybody's safety. Horses are prey animals, so that makes them more attuned to their environment and extremely sensitive to people's emotional states. So we use that in our work with the youth. We often do something called liberty work, which is sort of a mirroring exercise where the child will come into a round pen. Maybe they might be in an anxious state, or their energy might be heightened, and the horse will mirror that back to them while they do this liberty work together in the round pen. It's really amazing to witness, actually. Horses have potential for allowing people to overcome fear and develop confidence that can be translated into real life situations. So we're always taking what the child is working on in home or at school and relating it to the sessions that we do with the horses at the ranch, so that they can learn specific tools that they can use in their real life. Horses respond only to people's intent and behavior. They're social animals with their own personalities. And like I said, they're a great mirror for what humans maybe need to work on or heal from or grow through. And lastly, brain scans of a horse and a child who both have experienced trauma are nearly identical. And I meant to put a picture of that here, but that's pretty fascinating. So the sessions are typically an hour to an hour and a half in length, beginning actually with a snack, and because usually they occur after school. So they get to have a snack, and then we do a check-in activity and kind of gauge what they might be feeling that day or in that moment, and what things we can work on in the session with them. So then we do a 15-minute chore with them so that they can have some autonomy and ownership over the ranch, because we believe that it really belongs to everybody who's part of the ranch. And then the majority of the session consists of the therapeutic activity with the horses. And finally, after that activity, we do a closing exercise where we kind of debrief and discuss maybe what they learned, or what insights they gained, or how they might use the tools that they learned in that session in their real life, and how they can incorporate that at home. And then that's it. How we're different: most nationally and internationally recognized programs through EGALA, Equine Assisted Growth and Learning, those models, they don't incorporate riding into their sessions or grooming, and most of them don't have ranch tour activities. So it's more akin to like reading to a dog and petting a dog, and those types of therapeutic settings. They're not as hands-on, making Wild Souls Ranch's model pretty unique and really one of a kind. So like I said, our sessions usually occur after school or on Saturdays, and then typically kids attend either once a week sessions or every other week, depending on where they're at. And then the horses are used as the main tool for the emotional growth and learning. And the pretty common goals that are set in our program often include to motivate the youth, reduce anxieties, developing trust, learning self-evaluation, communication, building self-esteem, and developing or enhancing socialization skills. We also have a state-funded wraparound program, and this is a program that's specific for youth that have been adopted out of foster care. It's a very intensive 18-month-long program with the ability to be extended based on the need of the child and the family. This program requires that the youth come out to the ranch and do the equine assisted growth and learning sessions at the ranch, but also that our service providers or independent contractors are going into the home and working with not only just the child, but also the whole family as a family unit together. This program is designed to prevent youth from needing to receive a higher level of care or what's called like residential treatment. So the youth is at risk of needing that, and then we come in and wrap around the whole family to prevent from that needing to occur. It's a strengths-based program, and it's very family-driven and flexible, so we're able to be creative and address whatever the needs are of the child and family. So this program is staffed with a licensed marriage and family therapists, behavioral aides and analysts, occupational therapists, social workers. We provide transportation, and sessions include weekly sessions at the ranch, and then, like I said, all the other players and independent contractors that we work with are going into the home to do appointments with and provide services to the whole family. We also provide equine assisted growth and learning groups to the parents of the youth in this program, and we can coordinate to provide short-term respite care for the family. We launched a COLT starting program last year, where we've been able to do this program this year as well. So this is just our second year, but it was so successful that we wanted to really make it more robust and even more successful this year. So we have 3 participants this year, and they actually learn how to start or break a colt. So they're 2-year-old horses that are learning how to be around humans and interact with the rest of the herd and be able to be ridden eventually. So the participants in this program start them from the very beginning. It's designed to give older youth, teenagers, the experience and tools, like I said, to enter the community and the workforce. It's an intense program. They're spending 3 to 5 days a week. I believe it's 4 days a week this year at the ranch from 9 a.m. to noon, June through August. And they also are given time at the end of their program to each day to write down and journal what they've learned and things that have come up for them throughout the program. And then they meet with our therapist and debrief and talk about what's coming up for them, what they're learning, what they're going through while they're working this program. We have a supervised visitation program, which provides assistance to families going through difficult transitions. And the main purpose of this is to provide a safe space for the children and parents or guardians where everybody's treated with respect during these court-ordered visitations. It's done with our experienced visitation monitor at either our Eureka office or the ranch, or maybe a community location, depending on kind of what's going on. We have summer camp, unfortunately not able to do that this year due to COVID, but it's offered to foster and adopted youth ages 5 to 11, and it's free to youth currently in foster care. And it's a week-long camp, just kind of designed to give kids a sort of a taste of what we do at Wild Souls and allow them to work through some of their trauma with our herd and our staff, and experience that with other youth who might have shared experiences. We have never turned away a kid based on inability to pay for the camp. I think there's a ton of flexibility for providing this camp to anybody who needs it. So it's free to youth currently in foster care, but I believe that there's more scholarship and that kind of thing available to kids who might benefit. Oops. What's happening? Okay, and finally, we've developed a youth leadership program. There was definitely a need to be able to facilitate a continued connection for the youth that have graduated from the program but want to maintain this connection to Wild Souls Ranch. So we developed the youth leadership program to encourage that continued connection, and it guides preteens and teens into mentoring children, younger children enrolled in the program alongside staff to encourage them to give back what they received with their healing through their work with our horses and staff. We do have a exciting project in the works right now. We started filming a short movie. It's based on the founding story of Wild Souls Ranch. It's Savannah's story and kind of what led to her creating this nonprofit and founding of the ranch. It'll be a short 15-minute heritage piece. We're very excited about it. It was written and directed by a supporter of ours, Benjamin Sontag, and he's done lots of commercials and other heritage type pieces. If you've heard of Ballerina Farms, he worked for them, and he's done a commercial for Nike that makes you cry, surprisingly. He's really talented. So stay tuned for more information about that. We're really unsure of what an event might look like to be able to show that when it's done, just because of what's going on with COVID. So we'll definitely send out more information as we know more ourselves. But in the meantime, you can follow our Instagram account that is specifically was specifically created so that you can have a behind the scenes look at the making of the movie, and it's just the account called Wild Souls Movie on Instagram. And we also normally do a Women in Whiskey event. It's in September, but had to cancel that again due to coronavirus. So we are still going to honor a Strong Woman of the Year. We're going to do it just virtually and maybe kind of do some small event, or at least just honor the Strong Woman of the Year this year. So you can send in your nominations on our website, wildsoulsranch.org. You just fill out the nomination form and submit it there. It's really easy. So if you have somebody in mind that you think we should honor, please send in your nominations, and we'll do that. If you have any questions, if you know of a youth who might benefit from our program, there's an enrollment form on the website. You can find lots of information about our programs on the website. Again, that's wildsoulsranch.org. You can also call us if there's like an emergency and you think a kid needs help right away. Give us a call and we can talk about how to get them in ASAP. Or if you just have general questions, you can call us as well, or email me at wsrdevelopment@gmail.com with any questions you might have for me. And that's it. So let me make sure there's no questions in the chat. How do I get there?
I have questions.
Can I see it from here?
I have a couple questions if you're ready.
Yeah, can you tell if anyone?
Let me see what's in chat. Nope, just Denise Marshall saying hi.
Oh, okay.
Earlier. Yeah, I have just a couple of questions, some of the things that you brought up. Regarding your colt starting program, where do you find your colts? Do you get them at an auction? Where do you get your horses?
Yeah, so far I believe they've all come from auctions, except for one this year from our lead COLT starting, who kind of does the program. She has a big ranch and she had this COLT and is allowing us to use it in the program. But other than that, I think they've all come from an auction in Montana. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. I'm not the best person to answer that question, but I'm pretty confident.
I have another question for you. How has COVID affected the what you do insofar as the youth, basic safety protocols, but also how has the pandemic, if they've shared it with you, affected them personally? You know, has that come
Like
up?
the families that we work with?
The isolation?
Yeah, it's affected them greatly because these are people who already experience a high level of stress in their lives every day, and the children as well, the youth that we serve. You know, they experience stress every day, and this has only heightened that and made, you know, things very challenging for them. Also, not having school as an outlet, that's been really hard on the parents specifically. I created a weekly like happy hour with Amy so that the parents could just be able to connect with other parents who are kind of going through something similar and connect with me, and just for an hour every week be able to hopefully get a little bit of respite. They yeah, have reached out, you know, to us a lot and let us know that they're really struggling. So it's been a huge impact for the parents and the kids that we're working with. Safety protocol wise, we have you know, increased sanitation of all of the tack and equipment that we use. We wear masks when the kids come out. Because we're an essential service, we never had to stop serving kids. So we're able to remain open and just implement safety measures. And I think that was a huge help for the kids and the families, not having to close. I'm working from home, obviously, because I don't work directly with the kids. So any staff members that don't have to be at the ranch have been able to work from home. I feel like there's more things, but we've had you know, like Skype sessions with the therapist and the child, and then their heart horse. Each kid picks out a heart horse that they feel connected to and they work with, and if they're not able to come to the ranch for whatever reason, whether they had a symptom or just to be cautious and their parents weren't comfortable with them coming, then we would do like virtual sessions with the horse in the background and that kind of thing. So yeah, was that all of the parts of your question?
Yeah, but I have more.
Okay.
So in the very beginning of the shelter in place, and then I'll stop talking and let somebody else ask a question. You guys were doing story time with Merle, the donkey.
Oh yeah.
Oh, great. Mostly because he was a stinker and would try and eat the book.
Yeah.
Any of you guys were reading, which was really cute, and you know, donkeys. Are you still doing that? I haven't seen it.
We haven't done one in a while. Yeah, things feel a little crazy. There's a lot going on. So I think we honestly just got a little bit busy and kind of stopped doing it. But that's a good point. I'll definitely try to start doing that again, because I think it was good for everybody. Gave parents a break, hopefully, for 10 minutes. So yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have a question.
Okay.
You said something in the beginning, talked about the horses are aware, they know your intent or behavior. So I'd like to understand a little bit more how, if you know how horses connect. So like if I were getting on a horse, my intent would be to be calm, but maybe I'm really nervous inside. They pick up on all that, right?
Yes. So even like, so much so that like the way you breathe can affect them. So if you're in a round pen with a horse and you're really escalated and maybe your energy's up here and you're anxious, and though that might not be your intent, that's your behavior, and they'll pick up on that. So they'll respond to that, and they'll also feel anxious and be kind of on alert. And then once you are able to come down, I'm probably not explaining this that well, but this is how I understand it. Once you're able to kind of bring your energy down, regulate your breathing, maybe if you take a deep breath, they're going to respond to that and they'll be calmer. They'll start coming into you and kind of meet you where you're at. They'll be really just attuned to that and respond in kind, if that makes sense. I probably can't explain it as well as our like equine specialist, but based on what I've observed, kind of that's how they respond, and it was really powerful to actually see for me. I kind of had heard about all of that and then didn't understand it until I was able to see it for myself. Like, wow, they really can feel the energy that you bring when you're in front of them. It's amazing. I don't know if that answers it.
It is. It'd be cool to see and really have some kind of a connection to that, to seeing someone with maybe trauma and stress, and that connection that has happened. Because I've ridden horses and stuff, but usually I'm nervous and scared.
Yeah.
But I've never known about the whole connection piece. So
it's so powerful to see. Maybe I can incorporate like a video or something. That might be something, maybe for my next presentation that might be helpful. Because really, I think seeing it is a game changer. You're like, wow, okay, yeah, I get it. I can see it, it makes sense. It's really cool. Any other questions?
Amy, how many horses are at the ranch?
10 or 12. I'm not sure.
Does that include the colts or separate? Is it?
Yeah, that would be everybody. It's
but really, you have other animals there too, right?
We do have a potbelly pig named Colton. We have a sheep named Dandy. We have lots of buddies. Right? Oh yeah, they're best friends. They follow each other everywhere. And the horses too, they have they have their own relationships with each other. So like there'll be two horses that are, really hang out all the time and follow each other, or she's Savannah's horse that she had when she was a kid, and she's blind in one eye. And so now she has like a seeing eye horse, Bella, who is her seeing eye horse, and that's really cool. There's all these like different relationships and dynamics within the herd, and even within Dandy and Colton, they have their own thing going on.
So Amy, when you have kids that come in, sorry.
Yeah, Gary. Gary?
No, Kelly, finish.
Okay.
I was just going to ask, when you have kids that come in, come to the ranch for the first time, depending on maybe what they're going through at home or trauma or whatever their story is, do you guys sometimes match that child up to a specific horse depending on what they have going on, or is there kind of a one go-to that they start with? What does that look like?
That's a really good question. I think I mentioned it briefly, but we do always have them first and foremost, like pick out their heart horse. So they'll do a herd observation and they'll kind of see what dynamics are present within the herd and pick out whatever horse feels like their heart horse. And again, they come to that conclusion based on their observations of the dynamics within the herd, or just what the horse looks like, or just whatever feeling they get from being around a certain horse. So when they first come into the program, they're going to be working with their heart horse. However, when they are able to start riding eventually, at that point, we might consider what horse would be safest for that child, not necessarily based on what they have experienced or what they have going on at home, but more about safety. But we don't assign a horse to them. We let them kind of pick out what horse feels like, which horse they feel called to, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All yours, Gary.
Amy, I've got a question. So, I mean, and the thing that Denise was talking about is sort of like, to me, it's like attracts like. If you're calm, they're calm. If you're not, it's kind of that same amped up thing. If you're all freaked out about it, well, now you're just freaking them out.
Mm-hmm.
It is, it's cool that it can change based on your behavior. So
it's so cool.
So my question is, because I know I've been to a couple of the big fundraiser events and have been out, because you can't just bebop out to the ranch, especially now.
Yeah.
But what are ways that people can support? Obviously, a checkbook is helpful, but what else is there? What other things could we do to be helpful? Because you guys have, it's amazing to watch how much you've grown in 2 years. There were like 4 horses when I went up there the first time, and now there's like 12.
Yeah.
And I think the little pig was there running around. But it's, how else might we help or be able to tell people if people say, oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, you should do this.
Yeah, we normally this year is not a good indication of events that we would normally have going on, but we do need volunteers for fundraisers. We would have had Sip of Summer, and that's the hard cider fundraiser, and we definitely need volunteers for that. And Women in Whiskey also not happening, but we have volunteer opportunities for that. We don't have any opportunities to like come out and muck stalls right now, because we have a ranch manager who kind of takes care of all that sort of stuff, and that's oftentimes like people want to hang out with the horses, which I totally get, but we don't have any like projects right now that people could come like physically help out with, but I'll definitely keep you guys posted if things come up and we do have a project that we need help with. But other than that, we have like an account at Eel River Hay, so people can put money towards that to be able to provide feed and hay for the horses. And that's pretty much it. I think we're set on tack right now. That's the other thing that we get a lot of questions about, like, hey, could you use a saddle? I think we're set right now for tack. However, that could change, and I'll of course let everybody know. Hey, we really need some gear or something. But that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of at the moment.
Are you guys doing, and it's not the same, clearly, but are you doing some kind of these things maybe virtually, like that when you do the Whiskey and Women, the award, which is really fun, and a cool evening, are you going to do something maybe like a Facebook Live or something?
Yeah, we're still kind of talking about that. It's normally in September, and so we're kind of just figuring out what that event might look like. We know we want to give the Strong Woman of the Year, you know, an opportunity to like make a speech or something like that. So yeah, we'll have to figure out some kind of virtual event, and what platform it'll be on. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I will definitely let the public know. And another way to help, I could have mentioned this too, but just supporting us on social media or following us on our Facebook or Instagram, and you know, interacting with our content there is helpful, and also provides you all a way to know about what's going on, and keep informed about things we might need or things coming up, events, or just what we have going on. So that's another way to help. Anything else?
Did everybody have a chance to give all their announcements that they wanted to make? Sorry, I had to duck out and help a tourist. Good. Okay. Any other questions for Amy before we let her go?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy, so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. It was really informative, and thank you to all that were able to attend today's noon Zoom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good Monday.